entrance is just here, guys. If you've got an envelope with your...
I've made it to the Warner Brothers studio tour for Harry Potter. It was a train ride away from London, but it wasn't too bad. And I think we're like the first group to go in, so it's not too crowded and it's a weekday, but I'm excited. I've wanted this for a while, since like being at Universal. To get or not to get? If they don't have my size, then prob's not. I'm officially in tourist mode. I have my camera around my neck when I'm not filming, and this handy dandy digital guide, so it should be fun. Look at these things. They make noise? No, they don't. Are they little? They're so cute. I forget the names. I suck, but I might get one. Nerdy keychain for my purse.
I know you are, my darling. Come on down. Anyone else celebrating a birthday? I see there's a hand going out. Come on down. Sparkling the Red Seas. Let's let these people down. I have a very special birthday job for you to do. Come on down, my darling. Quick as you can. Quick as you can. We're raising for one more. I'm giving you 3 seconds and then we must start. It's much too exciting. We can't wait. That's all right. Now turn and face your adoring crowd and give them a big old smile. Hello. And let me be the first to greet you with the very words that Harry himself heard upon arrival at the castle. Welcome to Hogwarts. Give a push. Excellent. Nice big round of applause for my birthday helpers and everyone else. Come on in. Welcome to the Great Hall of Hogwarts. This is one of the first sets we built for the production and one of the largest. Now the Great Hall stood for more than 10 years on our working studio site, which is just across the car park, and we moved it here piece by piece for the tour. Now the lights are low, the flambeaux are flickering, the tables are dressed, and this is what we refer to in the movie industry as a hot set. So if you haven't done so already, grab your cameras, grab your phones, please keep on coming in. We've got 131 of you to fit in here, but there is more than enough room. We could fit 22 double-decker buses in this space if we so desired. So yes, take a moment to drink it in, take some photos. I shall meet you in a few moments by the fireplace in the centre of the room. And in fact, I will give you a hot tip from me to you. Turn the flash off on your cameras and your phones. All of the lighting that we have in here makes a lovely atmospheric shot, so you don't actually have to use your flash. And as you make your way in here, you may start to notice some of the details that you've missed while seeing the Great Hall on the screen. Those with a very keen eye may notice that there is one quite large thing missing entirely. As we direct your attention skyward, you will see that the Great Hall ceiling isn't there. That is, of course, because the Great Hall ceiling was enchanted to look like the night sky. It would be a bit tricky for us to get clouds and stars in here, but they're all magically added visual effects in post-production. You will see a model of the ceiling, however, when you continue your tour around the corner in just a few moments. But from something that isn't there to something that most definitely is the real deal. If you give it a good stamp, that's real York flagstones. That's the kind you can find in castles and churches up and down the country. From early on, the filmmakers realised that this set in particular would endure quite a lot of wear and tear, so they had to use the right material for the job. But it did survive some of the biggest scenes, like the sorting ceremony, the Philosopher's Stone. Yes, we can't be in the Great Hall without mentioning our 4 Hogwarts houses. To my left, we have some Hufflepuff house costumes here. In the centre, we have Cedric Diggory's triangles of tournament uniform from the Goblet of Fire. And across the way from there, we've got Ravenclaw House, a couple of students here, a couple of ghosts as well. In the centre, that's the roots of Moaning Myrtle, the ghost that haunts the girls' bathroom. As played by Shirley Henderson, who was 37 years old when she played a 14-year-old schoolgirl. I want to know what face cream she uses or something. I don't know. Next to that, we have Slytherin House, and in the centre, we have a Draco Malfoy from the Order of the Phoenix. And we can tell that by his inquisitorial squad pin as given to him by Dolores Umbridge. But finally, and most importantly, behind me we have the House of our Heroes, Gryffindor, and quite a number of costumes on display here, including the lovely Neville Longbottom's, what we affectionately refer to as a battle cardigan. Yes, he did go up against the Dark Lord in this knitwear. A brave choice, I think. But my very favourite costume in the entirety of the Great Hall is this one here. So this is Daniel Radcliffe's first ever set of wizarding robes that he wore on the very first day of filming, some 16 years ago, but he was only 11 years old at the time. And just as Harry, Ron and Hermione did in their first year, you came through the Great Hall doors, down the centre aisle, and they were sorted in front of their professors at the teachers' table, in front of some of Britain's finest acting talent. But I am going to talk about my favourite. He's the keeper of the keys and grounds at Hogwarts. He's everyone's favourite Care of Magic literature teacher. It's Rubius Hagrid, everyone! There's two different Hagrids and there's two different size sets. So whenever you do any sort of wide shots where you've got all of the students in Hagrid, it's Martin Baker who's wearing this costume. And anytime you see sort of close-up shots of him, or they do have camera trickery as well, when they shoot him from the room, it's robbing the tree. So yeah, like for Hagrid's Hut, for example, they made two different versions. They made like a 8% scale one and a 10% scale one. So there's one where they mix them.
Alright, so we made it to the pre-show and we had a little surprise. It was really cool. Unless you skipped over, I won't mention what it was because I think it's supposed to be a secret or something. But I've been going through the first part of the tour, which is a lot about the behind-the-scenes pre-production, as well as the costumes and makeup. It's really cool. I think one of my favorite parts of this part is the wings right here. So far so good. Ooh, I just saw it's all the proclamations from Order of the Phoenix, which is my favorite, at least right now. See this big black curtain wall? I assume that is the Forbidden Forest, which opens in like a week. Great timing, right? But for those of you that haven't come yet, when you do, check it out. the back lot. Luckily, it is not raining today, so we get to look at all the different sets, but it is a little chilly. But I got a waffle cone with butterbeer ice cream, so that was really cool. I think I only have a couple more rooms left, and it's a long thing. I've taken my time. I've tried to read every single sign and look at all the videos on the digital guide, which are a lot, so it's been fun though. Okay, made it into Diagon Alley, which is pretty cool considering I've already really seen it in Florida.
Has anybody got a favourite character from the movies? Neville. It's a tribute reference. So every member.
I love this music. I wish I could just take the one. It's magical. I wish there was a stamp in this one too. Yeah.
Alright, so just a couple things. I just got done with the tour. I chose a weekday and I got my tickets in advance, and I picked an early morning time. My ticket was for 10 a.m. and I highly recommend doing that. It was very calm when I got here. I was able to go in the gift shop. I got here probably around 9:30. Bought my things before I went on the tour. As you can see, I did buy the sweatshirt, and I got some postcards. I can say I liked the first half. I would say before the backlot tour, or the lunch area. Everything before the lunch area I loved a lot. It was a lot about sets, a lot about the creative aspects of it. That was really fun. It took a long time. I was in that part for 3 hours. Then I got lunch. The lunch was really good. I got the chicken sandwich, and I got a butterbeer waffle cone. I've never had the ice cream before, and they didn't have the frozen version that I usually like in Orlando, so I highly recommend the ice cream. I thought the backlot area with the sets outside was a little underwhelming. I don't know if they have less than they usually do. I don't really know much about this place besides what I've seen today, but it wasn't that much. There weren't that many set pieces that I expected more. And I really loved at the end, you saw a few clips of the model of Hogwarts. It was beautiful. So I think it's a great thing for any Harry Potter fan, or even film anyone who likes film or is into doing anything artistic at all, it's a very cool thing to see all the Harry Potter stuff, but it also talks a lot about the process of making the film and everything, so, and acting as well, so highly recommend.